I really need to eat more PB&J. I have dough here left over from a baguette class I did the other day. And the thing about baguette dough is it's basically a 70% hydration dough. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to throw it in this pan. I'm going to bake it as a sandwich loaf and have sandwich bread. So you really don't have to do a whole lot, just maybe a little bit of moving around on the counter, on the table to get it into a shape that you want. You definitely want to use some spray oil to spray out the thing, because otherwise you're never going to get it out of there after it bakes. And then it basically just goes in here and it sits out on the counter for about an hour. It'll rise up, and then I bake it. I start out at 500 degrees, and immediately after I put it in the oven, I turn it down to 375. It'll take about 45 minutes, maybe a little longer. And since it's going to be out on the counter, I don't want to really cover it or anything. I just take some water and I spray it with some water to keep it wet, and that way it won't dry out. So I just took this sandwich loaf out of the oven, and it ended up taking about 8 minutes longer than 45 minutes, so about 53 minutes. And so how did I know that? Well, you take one of these and you stick it in there. I'm going to stick it in the hole that I just had. And 45 minutes, it was at 190 degrees. And I knew, okay, it's going to need a little while longer. And so I waited and I stuck this thing in, and then I waited until it hit about 200 degrees. So whenever you're baking bread, you want to make sure that your bread reaches 200 degrees. After you've done it for a couple of times, of course, you'll know, okay, well, this is going to take 53 minutes, the way I did it by starting out at 500, turning it down to 375. But as a rule of thumb, I would always use a thermometer to make sure it's this temperature, and your bread will turn out perfect. I just toasted up some of the sourdough sandwich bread that I made yesterday, and oh, it smells so good. The flavor is just really something. And so what I'm going to do today is something I pretty much never do. It's PB&J. So here's the PB, and what you will see is the bread holds up really well. Oh boy, that's a lot of peanut butter, but it holds up really well. And here I have some pear jalapeno jam that I made. I think it was last year. Actually, there's a date on it, last year. And I love just a lot of toppings. So let's see what this is like. I really need to eat more PB&J. And this sandwich bread is just perfect.